Whether you're stockpiling right now, making less trips to the grocery, or you just buy for one person and don't want your food to go bad quicker than you can eat it, I'm going to walk you through a few tips on how to keep your food fresh in the fridge. Keep in mind the FDA recommends keeping refrigerated foods at or below 40 degrees, and the Mayo Clinic says that the risk of harmful bacteria increases after 4 days. So it's still a good idea to do a quick sniff or field check on your food, regardless of these tips. If something smells or looks off, it's better to avoid the risk. All right, let's get into the tips. So first, when you're dealing with greens, whether it's spinach or lettuce or salad mix or something, this is a tip I learned about a while ago that's especially helpful for me who shops for just myself and not, say, a family of 4, so I don't go through a container of this that quickly. Once your greens start looking a little slimy and have a pungent odor instead of an earthy one, they're probably ready to toss. But you can prolong their freshness with something that you probably already have in your kitchen: paper towels. Adding in a paper towel or two to your container of greens can help absorb the extra moisture that builds up in the fridge. And if you're looking for a more sustainable option, you can always use reusable paper towels, or, in my case, a Swedish dishcloth to help absorb the extra moisture. As far as loose greens or herbs or items that come in a bunch, you can store those in a cup or jar with a little bit of water to prolong their life and keep them from wilting as fast. So what I normally do is I go ahead and rinse off the entire bunch with water and remove any of the questionable pieces on there. And then I'll take a mason jar and fill that with a little bit of water and add the bunch to the jar. And make sure that the water reaches the stems. All right, let's move on to dairy products. CNET's Smart Home team tests refrigerators, and one thing they found was that the temperature throughout wasn't even, making some spots colder than others. And when it comes to your dairy products, where you store them is especially important. For example, the back of the fridge tends to be the chilliest, which makes it a better place to store milk and dairy items instead of, say, the side door. Not only is the side door more temperate than the back of the fridge, but you also end up exposing the front of the fridge to warm kitchen air every single time you open the fridge door, which, let's be honest, is often. So with a little rearranging, and your milk, yogurt, eggs, and other perishable items should stay fresh several days longer near the back of your fridge. As for cheese, the American Cheese Society recommends removing the plastic wrap from your cheese and wrapping it in wax or parchment paper instead to prevent mold growth. And again, if you're looking for a more sustainable option, I'm using reusable beeswax wrap to keep my cheese fresh. It's super simple, you just have to use the heat of your fingertips in order for it to stick. As far as meat products go, they don't tend to last very long in the fridge. Foodsafety.gov suggests that lunch meat lasts about 3 to 5 days if opened, raw bacon lasts about a week, and fresh ground meat only lasts a day or 2. Other meats like steak or roast or ham can last up to 5 days in the fridge. The best tip that works for me if you know you're not going to use a meat product right away is to freeze it and then thaw it in the fridge the day before you plan on using it. The USDA recommends tossing uncooked steaks, roasts, and chops after a year in the freezer and uncooked ground meat after 4 months. Meanwhile, frozen cooked meat should be tossed after 3 months. As always though, make sure you smell your food before you cook it to lower the chance of any food-borne illness. It's better to be safe than sorry. Lastly, berries such as strawberries and raspberries tend to grow mold fast. Chowhound recommends washing your fruits in a mixture of equal parts water and distilled white vinegar, and then rinsing that off with water. Allow the fruit to dry completely before putting back in your fridge. Once the berries are completely dry, you can place them in a new container and line it with a paper towel. Or again, for a more sustainable option, you could use a reusable paper towel or a Swedish dishcloth. And make sure to keep them out of any drawers, which tend to be a little bit more humid in the fridge. Alright, that's about it. I hope these tips will help you keep your food fresh in the fridge, not only during these uncertain times, but just in general to help you reduce food waste. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to How to Do It All, because we're doing it all in our homes.